Welcome to Grapes and Debates, a podcast where we'll uncork some incredible wine and debate varietals of issues within the restaurant industry, one glass at a time.
Don't
Big aisle.
Yeah, big aisle. The intelligence that is just
Knowledge. Here, take them all. Take them all. Take them all. There's something on that one. Take them all.
tank like this, right? And so in an elegant vineyard, we know. All right, I'm going to be really. You guys are really interested in this? I need another piece of paper.
Yeah. We need paper.
Menu.
More menu?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you can use those.
Because I sell everything to them for $5. Right. So,
Yeah, you can use them.
all right, this is a compliment. Actually, I might even have this one on, but you prefer it live.
No, this is good.
So what we do, let me make sure I'm going to describe this correctly. So in an elegant wine, let's do this. We're going to do it like this.
I know, right?
So in an elegant wine, the fruit is in higher concentration than the tannin. Remember, because I said it was undercrop. Overcrop. So you have to remove crop in a short canopy situation. And so you don't want the alcohol to get out of control. So it's always going to be more fruity. And then in a powerful wine, the fruit and the tannin are in the same balance. And in a dense wine, the tannin is higher than the fruit. And remember I told you about that 100 days? Here.
Yeah.
In the Alexander Valley, there's 140 days, which is the same as Marlborough. In Napa Valley, it's 130 days because it's warmer, which is the same as Uco. All right? So, but that's a different altitude and that's a different latitude. So when you look
All
at
of that
this,
goes into it.
well, I'm just giving you, because Marlborough is a white grape grown at much further south, so it has 140 days, whereas Malbec at 130 days is the same because it's warmer, but it's higher altitude. So when you look at this, in a dense wine, you want this guy to be about, I'm splitting hairs now, like 125 days. And here you want to be 135 days. And here you're like at 145 days. So when you bring them into the winery, you change the process, right? I drew a tank somewhere, because it's too tannic. Because the tannin is higher than the fruit, so I've got to bring the fruit out.
Okay.
So what I do during fermentation, I make it cooler, less air, less time on the pump over, and then during maceration, I warm this up to 26°C. Because what I'm doing is I'm polymerizing the tannin, right? And I can talk about that. Whereas an elegant wine, I ferment hot, because an elegant wine, I want it to be fruity. I want to bring out more fruit, so I'll ferment it, 30 Celsius, lots of air, lots of time. And then during maceration, I let it cool down to 22 because we have less tannin in the wine. So I want to bring the tannin forward. And if you cool something, it slows down the polymerization. All right. So polymerization. You know how wines move from purple to red to brown to orange?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you get crusty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I won't swear anymore because of your mother.
Thank you. Mimi thanks you.
Well, I'll make up for it.
I know
You
you.
get emotional, Wine's emotional
is.
for me, And for me, wine is, why did I get into wine? I got into wine because it's a journey,
Yeah.
It's a journey for me. And I got into wine because I knew nothing about it. And I just went to Germany. I gave a talk at Geisenheim, 2 or 3 months ago, and I didn't know slate was clay.
Okay.
So it goes clay, shale, schist, clay, slate. It's 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion years, So we grow on schist. So in 1 billion years, we'll be Germany. So we're already past shale, because it's about compression. So clay and compression, and I have a little. This vineyard that you're tasting now comes from. This is schist. Right?
We're getting close.
This is definitely TFS.
And what are we drinking here while we're looking up the...
This is Catherine Cabernet. That's Catherine.
Okay.
And this is the schist. So schist is rock. This is clay.
It just doesn't seem like you
Plus-
could grow something in that.
This is clay times 2 billion years.
Wow.
Right? So you can, and here you can see me I just break it,
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't see the
That-
photo, but I mean, he's showing us pictures of gravel and rock.
Well, I'm breaking,
You're breaking.
Yeah.
That I'm breaking.
That you're breaking
Right.
with your hands.
So what's the worst phone call you can receive from your wife? It's this one, right?
Jeez. Wow.
Honey, I'm too drunk. I can't go to the parent-teacher night at school.
Oh, okay, I'll take that one.
All right, so what one did you have? Is there something you want to share?
I feel like there's worse.
Something you want to share?
We've been together.
It's the second worst. It's the second worst phone call.
Okay, I'll take that one.
So it turned out to be a life-changing experience. I go along to the school and they break the room up on first, second, third, twins and last ones, right? So I'm sitting at the big boy table. What are you guys? What birth order are you?
Second.
Only one. Yeah.
Very special.
Yeah.
All right, so
Mommy's special little boy.
lucky you tracked her down. She did. She probably moved away. She
tried to.
Find. It took a long time to find her. All right, so they break the room. I'm at the big boy table. I'm firstborn, right?
Okay.
You guys firstborns? You
Only
first?
as well.
Whoa.
I love the way that only people always tell
Yes.
me. Oh, perfect. I love you. Yeah. All right, so I'm at the big boy table. 14 of us. Mm-hmm. We don't make eye contact. We don't say hello. We don't introduce ourselves. We go, because in front of us is a bunch of questions, so we go straight to the task. And at the bottom it says, elect a spokesperson for the group.
It was you.
Well, you know what firstborns are like, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to wait 10 seconds if no one volunteers. Volunteer.
Right.
Secondborns are like, hey, can we get a firstborn over here? the middle children are like, what was the question? Because, middle children are still talking about themselves. And then the lastborns are like, we ordered a cheeseburger. And so I see this in my kids. So if you look at the label, Catherine faces a different direction.
Huh.
Because she's the middle child, the liar, the manipulator, the bullshit artist thinks outside the box. But middle children will tell you that they're the lovers, the peacemakers, and the glue, which is true. But they're manipulating us. And so making wine with Catherine is hilarious. So when I make wine with Chelsea, at the end of the tasting, everything is cleaned up. Looks good. Tops on the bottles and everything. When you finish with Catherine, there's usually 2 broken glasses and wine all over the table. And when you blend with Hillary, everything is actually topped up and clean. So really good. But what I love about
What a great experience.
When I think about Alexander Valley, I versus Napa. So this is red fruit this time, and this is black fruit, right? So strawberry, loganberry, red cherry comes next.
Raspberry.
You're right. I should have put raspberries in. Well, let's call it boysenberry, blueberry,
Starting to get darker.
and then we get black cherry, blackberry, black currant, plum would be in here. All right. So Alexander Valley, and this is structure and texture. Alexander Valley tends to be sort of red cherry in this realm here, maybe a little bit of plum. That's Alexander Valley. And this is why Alexander Valley is really interesting with food, with protein, because it livens you up. You've got good acidity, good structure, good red fruit. Man, it's a fruit juice in itself, Whereas Napa Valley tends to be in this realm here. Napa Valley. More black fruit, more texture. Okay, where does the texture come from? This is the interesting thing, because everyone says it's alcohol. Not necessarily. Because what happens when things ferment, we don't add any yeast, right? Yeast does this. Native yeast does that. You got Clearchorus, Saccharomyces, and Bionis. But basically, we'll just talk about Saccharomyces. Alcohol is that, right? This is alcohol, this is sugar. Sorry, this is yeast. But what's important is glucose does this, and fructose does this. So if you finish your fermentation at 14%, and this is under 2 grams of sugar, it's dry. But if you wait till 16 alcohol, your percentage of fructose, if that's 2 grams of fructose, that tastes 20 times sweeter than 2 grams of glucose. So when the yeast will ferment glucose easily, but with not a lot of nitrogen, but it only ferments a little bit of fructose. And so at the end of fermentation, when the alcohol gets really high, you end up with fructose in suspension. And that's why if you end up with 2 grams of glucose in here, it tastes dry. If it ends up with 2 grams of fructose, it tastes sweet, combined with the alcohol. And when you're born in America, your mum gives you peanut butter. Mm-hmm. When you turn 10, your mum gives you Coca-Cola for the first time. When you turn 21, you drink that shit.
No.
Napa Cab.
No, it's usually 30. I don't think I drank a Napa Cab until then.
All right. 30 in your case. And wine is leuconostoc bacteria ferments malic acid to lactic acid. They're the good guys. Then you got the bad guys. So the first bad guys, Brettanomyces and Decara, which ferment fructose. So if you finish this wine at 15, 16 alcohol, there's still that 2 grams of sugar. And if you have Brett, heat, light, air, and time, and solids, will help increase the level of Brettanomyces, and it will ferment that fructose and make a barnyardy character. And then you've got the bad bacteria, Pediococcus, Xenococcus, and Lactobacillus, which are the spoilage bacteria you get in sherry.
Okay.
So that.
We don't have any of that here.
Yes, we do.
We don't have it.
We don't have it here.
No, you're going to try it in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Where do we go next? Hillary.
So Hillary popped out. She was supposed to be a boy. She's a girl. Spelt with 1 L, thank you. And she's named after?
Hillary Swank. I don't know. It's the only Hillary I could think of.
Sir Edmund Hillary.
Mount Everest. Okay.
Mount Everest, dude. So,
She just told me.
Oh.
She's like,
that's insider trading.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I really like this. I didn't try it though.
It was really good.
was he the first to summit Mount Everest? Yeah.
Electric.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, there's a very famous quote though from Hillary, because Mallory went to the top first. Well, we don't know if Mallory made it or not, but Hillary climbed up the next day. Mallory was British, Hillary was a Kiwi. He walks down the mountain with Tenzing, and they said, Hillary, what do you think 20 years from now when they find Mallory's body with a photo of him on the top? He goes, well, getting down's important too.
It is.
Oh, man. So by accident, that was in 1952-ish, and he was 26. And by accident, he was on the Fuchs expedition across. Fuchs wanted to be the first guy to be the guy to cross the Antarctic. He went in where, do you know who the first guy to the South Pole was?
I do not.
No,
You know
I mean,
the second guy? Dude, come on, man.
No one knows the second.
I don't know the first. I don't know anybody.
The second guy's more famous because he died on the way back. That's Captain Scott. He took horses, whereas Amundsen took dogs. So he was the Norwegian guy, got to the pole, went back.
Was it Edmondson, you said?
Amundsen.
Amundsen.
Scott was the second guy to the pole, same year, but he died on the way back. So the third guy to the South Pole was Hillary, because he was on the Fuchs expedition, and they told him to drop food across the Ross Ice Shelf and wait for us at the bottom of the Beardmore Glacier. And he goes, I'm right, he's 27, 28, whatever. He arrives 3 weeks early. He goes onto the pole. Fuchs shows up and goes, dude, I'm supposed to be the third guy to the pole. But anyway, so Hillary. And then my father was the fourth guy to the pole in 1958. But on my father's expedition, a snowcat from Hillary's expedition went down the crevasse with my father's team on it. And one of the bodies just popped out of the ice in November, December. So it took 60 years for that body to come out.
Wow.
The Ross Ice Shelf. So I have a map in my office, because my dad's a land surveyor engineer, so there's a map of the one side of the Ross Ice Shelf fully surveyed and the other side not, because I had to go back in 1959 and finish the job. And there's places named after my father, Cape Goldschmidt, Glacial Goldschmidt, just like there is with Hillary. And so Hillary and my father was not a mountaineer, but they had a lot of crossover. So this is the Hillary vineyard. And
Dutton Ranch, I saw that.
Yeah.
Steve Dutton.
Warren Dutton, his father, is a friend of mine.
Yeah, you are.
Generational winemaker, mate. $42 million winery when they built it. We own nothing. 80,000 cases. We make 3,000 cases, and that's $480 at Costco, and we're not at Costco.
And you're
So that's
a pitching wedge away from.
No, that is this one.
Oh,
and that is us.
really?
So,
Yeah.
$36 a bottle.
This.
Yes.
And you've never seen this wine?
There are great wines in Oakville. This is the fucking shit.
It is. It's fantastic.
This is.
Thank you.
Well, I know you don't have a favorite child. None of us do, right? But
No, I got two right here.
do you have a favorite out of this 3 lineup here?
No, of course not.
Okay, generational. Oakville. Ren Harris.
Okay. Oh, of course. This used to be BV number 6. Beaulieu Vineyard number 6.
Really?
Yeah. So this is dry farmed and organic. So let me offer an alternative explanation to terroir.
So, was it their land, or
No, it's BV. It was planted for Beaulieu Vineyard.
okay?
But, Beaulieu sold.
BV,
Yeah.
which really floated the valley during Prohibition. Do you not remember the history of Napa?
I do.
in
I do
Six
remember
Flags?
talking about that.
See these 3 berries? They all come from the same vineyard. Which one's got more terroir?
That one?
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing, eh?
Yeah.
So that's Merlot, and that's Cabernet that's irrigated, and that's Cabernet that's dry farmed. So when there's 2 things for me that make real terroir, or 3 things, because the human element is really important too. But being regenerative and being dry farmed, those are the 3 things that make something true terroir. And I'll give you an example. So when I worked for Allied Domecq, I gave 5 winemakers 10 tons of Cabernet on the same day. I made the picking decision, right? And at the end of the year, we sat down, we tried the 5 different wines. Guess what? They all tasted different. Because even though I'd made the picking decision, each winemaker is also subjected to the quality and understanding of themselves and of their facility. I won't mention the winery, but the truck got lost, arrived a day late. One winery had an electrical power outage. These things change the terroir.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if you irrigate, you've changed your terroir. If you farm organically, you've changed your terroir. If you farm normally, you change your terroir. So this vineyard is dry farmed and organic.
Okay.
And you like it?
If you pick grapes from a single block and you took half, and someone that you respect took the other half and went separate ways and made wine, they would be different because you probably bring a little bit of your own style and personality to it. And the winemaker, again, somebody that you hold in high regard and respect, they would make something different as well, even though you started with the same grapes.
Yep.
Right? So there is some personal...
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, there's some personal style that goes into it as well.
Absolutely.
Do you make wines that you like, or do you make wines that your family likes, or do you make wines
That's a
that...
loaded question.
Oh,
That-
man.
Of course you like
Oh,
them.
that's not fair. That's not fair because...
You clearly don't make them for the
because-
masses, though. You don't produce what the other pictures showed.
Well, okay.
You keep it small.
Well, for me personally, yeah, I make wines based on the history of the property and the people and all that sort of stuff. But when I'm consulting, it depends on the market that we're targeting. Remember when I said I worked for Louis Vuitton, and this is years ago, so nobody should be offended. But when I'm in one of those wineries that I mentioned, there's 4 people in the room. Somebody's blending for Asia, someone's blending for Europe, someone's blending for Australasia, and someone's blending for North America. Because each wine is targeted to a different market.
Huh.
I'm okay because I target all my wines for the US. But if I was to target my wine for Asia, I would change the style of the wine. Just like I sell a lot of wine in Scandinavia, and the wines that I sell in Scandinavia are quite different to the way.
So what's the palate, let's say, in China?
Well, it's way less sweet.
Okay.
And it's more spicy, and the Europeans tend to be a lot more minerality and flinty, and New Zealand and Australia are quite unique because of course they prefer acidity and but at the same time fruity.
Right.
So it's quite a difficult thing to do. All right, so
Hillary is just drinking fantastic right now. What balance? I mean, it's just, there's some grippiness at the end, but it's just it's just a gentle grip, if you will.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, it's super balanced with the fruit up front. I love it.
So 1988,
Hillary might be my favorite. Don't tell her.
She would just go, I'm already established. Anyway, in 1988, I'm standing in Uruguay with my wife, and someone stuck us up. I got a gun on my back, and took off my backpack. I got no passport, no visa, no air ticket, no clothes, and ran into Argentina. The border was very fluid, and I went to the British Embassy. My father's British, luckily, and I got a British passport. Yolan got a Aussie passport, which is very funny. But I had one thing. I had $200. I bought a bus ticket. We went to Chile and I got a job. And then I got on an airplane and I flew to the US and I met Zelma and I got a job for the rest of my life. And 40 years later, I bought the best vineyard in the Alexander Valley.
Wow.
If I'd taken that $200 and gone back to New Zealand, I'm not sure where it would have ended up. And I travel extensively through the US over the last 38 years, and I hear a lot of people complain about this country. And you know what? You live in an amazing country that you can do whatever you want. If you don't like something, get off your butt and go change it.
Sure.
You know, this is the land of the free, you know, and I'm honored to be an American citizen. I came in here legally with my green card. I became an American citizen, have an American passport, and my family has created this, you know, worked hard. It's not belittling that. And, you know, there's been sacrifices in my family to do this, but we've created this business that's like a legacy business, a generational business, and we add to the economy, we pay our taxes, we hire people, we buy grapes, we've created this business. And so I'm proud to be an American.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I feel that I'm contributing back to the country that allowed me to stay. And as a result, I made this wine called Yeoman. And Yeoman means vagabond, unemployed, homeless guy. And this is the vineyard that we purchased. And I'm a huge, you know, off the record, I'm a huge fan of Barolo. But
No, that's on the record now, by the way.
But there's a specific place in Barolo that I'm in.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of Alba, Barbera, and Dolcetto because, you know, in Nebbiolo is losing color because unfortunately Barolo, you know, is east, west, and south. And so those, with climate, it's getting warmer and warmer. So, you know, they're facing their own challenges. Whereas the north-facing vineyards are where they grow Dolcetto and Barbera, which are blacker, richer, and usually 30% of the price of a Barolo. And so this is my version. This is a 270-degree vineyard, faces east, west, and north, not south.
And this is Alexander Valley
Correct,
as well?
Alexander Valley. Right over here is Silver Oak is the nearest neighbor.
And you're growing Nebbiolo here?
No.
No, it's all
Is that what you
Cab.
said?
It's all Cabernet.
Oh, okay.
It's all Cabernet. I'm just saying.
He's saying it compares-
I'm talking about the mountain.
Okay.
So,
Silver Oak.
sorry, Silver Oak is right here. Sagacio is here, the Rattlesnake Hill, and then right here would be Jordan. So it's pretty cool.
We were hanging out in that
Not
neighborhood.
bad. Not bad company.
That's right. You know.
Not bad.
I mean, we were literally probably 3 miles from there
Yeah.
where we stayed in Chalk Hill.
Right. So I try to make this very, you know, when I was talking about style, I try to make this, you know, when I talk about, you're still my friend?
Boris.
We're good on that.
When I talk about
We're not keeping you on.
style, you know, we're talking about red and black fruit. And what I want to do here is I want to make, I want to keep the Alexander Valley trueness being more structured, more electric, but because of the facing of the slope and the pushing of the 140 days, I want this to be blacker. So when you smell this, you're going to get, yeah, sure, you're going to get the nice red cherry, you know, the first thing you're going to get the nice vibrant purple, red, but for me, I don't get so much of the red cherry strawberry, I get more of the blackberry, black cherry kind of character.
Can you control that in the vineyard?
I don't know. On the palate, I'm getting cherry.
Black or red?
I don't know.
I don't know that my
For
palate's
me, it's
that
black. For
refined.
me, it's a black cherry.
Black cherry.
So when I think of red cherry, I think of it being a little bit more acidity, like Catherine.
Okay.
Catherine's going to have a little bit more electric. This is electric, but it's also covered a little bit with the black fruit. Oh, so we only make about 400 cases of this.
Yeah, I get that brightness as well. I don't know if it's red cherry or I'm just getting some brightness to it. But
It's, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And without a super sophisticated palate, you know, I would lean it towards those brighter fruits, but it's really the structure you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
wow.
it's that black, but Because below that, you're saying plum. I mean, I'm kind of getting that.
Yeah, I as I said, I think
Yeah.
this is
Yep.
this is. I get blackberry in here, blueberry, black cherry plum, blackberry. That would be where I put it. For me, black currant is like too herbal. I mean, but this is always something that I make two wines exactly the same. I make Yeoman and Game Ranch. We don't have the Game Ranch to show you today. Game Ranch is from Oakville, and we did a big tasting once, and we had 72 sommeliers, and we poured 5 very famous Napa wines and 5 very famous Alexander Valley wines. The winemakers were all there, and we asked the 72 sommeliers which are the 5 Napas and which are the 5 Alexander Valleys, and no one got it right.
None of them.
None of them. I can tell you.
Well, to get 5 and 5 right.
Did they
the
get
day
some of
before we did 4 and 4, we did Merlot versus Cab, and 72 sommeliers could not even pick the 4 Merlots from the 4 Cabs. So
I love it.
unfortunately,
That makes me feel better.
unfortunately, I can't tell that story on the film, but I mean, people who are watching this still remember
If you know, you know.
tasting.
If you know
you
there,
know.
you know.
And the year was 2000,
Okay.
and it was at Simi. And so I make Game Ranch and Yeoman exactly the same. And what happens is I tell the story using the names, and then I pour 3 glasses. All right? So I pour 2 Game Ranches and 1 Yeoman. And I tell the story. And then I ask the buyer, which 2 glasses are the same? I lose. Probably 9 out of 10 buyers get it wrong. And then I remove this glass. So I have Game Ranch in this glass and Yeoman in this glass. And I ask the buyers which one they prefer. 9 times out of 10, they prefer this one. I unveil it and they buy the other one.
Why is that?
Because it says Oakville. So every year, I take the Game Ranch up $1 just to screw with you. And one day, we will sell them at the same speed.
Wow.
So the best value Oakville on the market, I'm talking about long-term longevity. I'm not talking about the spot market crisis stuff that's going on right now. But number 1 would be Hillary. Number 2 would be Mondavi Oakville. And number 3 would be Game Ranch. Anyway, we're talking about Alexander Valley here, so this is the Yeoman, which is the equivalent to the Game Ranch.
How many acres do you own?
Just under 100.
Okay. And how much of that 100 is under vine? Or is that what you're
All
talking
of it,
about?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Okay.
And is it, now do you own the Oakville property or you're just
long-term relationships there. I'm a little,
Okay.
if anyone would like to invest,
Yeah.
Well, I think we're looking for those guys too, right?
Right. Hey. We got number 4 on the way.
oh, really? Yeah. More opportunity.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Oakville for a minute, because we're going to try the next wine is going to be in Oakville.
Awesome.
So let me show you the Game Ranch. So
Oh, this is the Game Ranch you were talking about?
no, this is a Game Ranch Plus.
Okay.
Which I'm going to talk about now.
Okay.
So on top of the regular Game Ranch and Yeoman, we make a thing called Plus, and this is a process. So these we're going to show 2 plus wines. These wines are the hardest wines that I make. And so when I worked, I don't know if you know how they make Grange, but Grange, Max Hubert was the first guy that made Grange back in the 60s, I think it was. And he would drain the tank. Remember, he's talking about Shiraz here. So he would drain the tank and he'd put the wine in barrel and he'd leave the bung off and allow the evolution of wine. So let's speed that up a bit. So I'll cut to you need to understand, there's 2 parts to understanding this. What do I do with it?
So you leave the lung off.
Allow it air. So heat.
How long?
Oxidation.
Well, that's part 2. Part 1. Part 1 is this. All right. Oh, you're trying to speed me up? You said I had all day.
No, we're not.
This
It's
is
fascinating.
what you drink. All right. You know what this is?
Looks like a starship from Star Wars.
Okay, this is the
Looks like
flavanol.
some chemistry. Looks like a chemistry exam.
Flavanol?
This is a flavanol. So this is malvin and 3-glucoside. So what makes strawberries red, blueberries blue, blackberries black, right? But in wine, this is called an anthocyanin.
Yeah. That was
All right.
That was high.
So you know how wines go from purple to red to brown to orange?
Yes.
Crusty shit. Right. So what happens is you get you provide heat, light, air, and time. You guys know this, that these two hydroxyl ions cleave off and form a water molecule, and then you end up with a double bond oxygen onto another one of these.
All right? We know that.
Clearly.
This is a monomer, this is a dimer.
Okay.
All right. So this anthocyanin is purple. When you join another one on, it becomes a tannin, that's red. More heat, light, air, and time, polymerization, crusty shit. All right. So when you see crust, for me, that's the preservative of wine that's falling out. And so I don't find those wines very interesting because, I love it when people go, oh, come around tonight, we're opening an old bottle of wine. I'm going to decant it at 6 o'clock, come over at 7. I'm like, I'm busy.
Right.
The last thing I want is a decanted old wine, because if you decant an old wine, there's no fruit left anyway, and you just blew it all out into the oxygen. If you're going to open an old wine, put it vertical,
And drink it all the way.
Pull the cork and get the 5 glasses of your mates and go drink.
Right.
Right. If you want to decant something, you decant a young wine, because that's going to
allow it to
open up a little bit more and get a little bit of that reductive character, etc. So, this is what's important. So, all right, so let's talk about the plus. So there's 5 differences to Yeoman Plus, 5 differences to the Game Ranch Plus. These two are made exactly the same. Number 1, outside rows. Because the outside rows of the vineyard have more vigor, less crop. When you have nitrogen, they blow flowers. So you have less berries per cluster. Secondly, I use delistage. So no pump over or punch down. I take the wine out of the tank twice a day for 3 hours each and put it back through the cap. I don't break the cap. Number 3, I make 6 barrels, but I only bottle 4, so I only make 100 cases. And then number 4, I'm wrapping up here with the 2 statements that you made, you little rock star.
Okay.
The first question you asked me was about fermentation, and I talked about the 4 fermentations. Mm-hmm. And then the second piece we talked about was the evolution and the what happens with air. So this is what happens in a fermentation with the bad bacteria, the Pedicocci, Lactobacillus, right? So they make a thing called VA. VA is a blend of ethyl acetate, nail polish, and acetic acid, which is vinegar. If this is thyme,
neither one of those sound good.
Oh no, I love them. The problem is not everyone loves them.
Okay.
I'm sensitive to it and I like it. So VA does this.
Okay.
So the legal limit is 1.2 milligram per liter. Once you cross that, port or a Sauterne. But what Max Schubert did basically was all red wine has about 0.8. What Max Schubert did was he did this, and he increased the bacteria load for the first 3 months, and then he hit it on the head and made this really, at the end of 2 years, you get this massive complexity. So when you smelt, did you pour me it?
No, you got to finish that or dump it.
Well, I'm more interested in trying this.
This is fucking,
wow.
This is the fucking shit.
TF shit.
You have to.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Matt.
You're going to be taking this out, and you're going to be selling this.
All right.
Wow.
I apologize, Matt.
A little higher in alcohol here?
No. Because we pick it earlier. Okay. No, because you just get this richness because of the. Oh, and the 5th thing is the way I take it out of the tank. It takes 2 days. So this guy, the VA bacteria thing that goes on, which is true in all red wine, but in this case I control it, and that's what gives you the aromatic. And then the way I take it out of the tank is what gives you this fatness and creaminess that you would get in the wine. So, yeah, I only make 4 barrels. It's really hard to make. I don't make it all the time, and
4 barrels, so that's
90 cases.
90 cases.
Does the vineyard tell you whether you're going to make it in a vintage or not? Is that where you decide?
Usually we didn't make it 2020 because, of course, everything was smoked.
Sure.
And but yeah, no, everything has to be perfect. And the reason why large corporations, when I proposed doing this at Louis Vuitton, they went, you're crazy, Nick. You're not going to do this because, if you screw the wine up, you throw it away, the barrel's away, because the bacteria can get out of control. But I feel I know how to control the bacteria. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't come without risk. As I said, I make 6, maybe even 7 barrels.
And then 4.
But I only bottle 4 because some of them will be a little bit stronger than others. And as I said, I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
But It doesn't mean that the press or or people like you are going to like it. So I'm very cautious about how much wine of this I bottle. But it's a very hard wine to make.
Yeah.
That one fits your palate.
Yeah. So I'm sure, this is $14.50 a bottle. This is probably about, I would say 18.
Yeah. Well, I sell it to them for $5.
Right.
No, this well, we can't talk wholesale here, but I mean retail we're talking about 140ish. And if you think about the neighbors,
No, listen, that's ridiculous.
like the neighbors starting price is usually higher than this.
Right.
Right.
So let's talk about the neighbors.
Are you friends with the neighbors?
They love me.
That's not what I asked.
This is Ultimatum, my top wine. The Game Ranch Plus comes from the outside rows.
Mm-hmm.
Game Ranch, Oakville Cross, Silver Oak, Groth, O'Shaughnessy, Harlan, Maiden, Plumpjack, Rudd, Julia.
Oh, all the names that are on our shelves?
Yeah, Tench, and Screaming Eagle.
Okay.
So, those are the neighbors.
How we doing?
Yeah, not bad company.
That's right.
Yeah.
We are not open for
Have you ever
Bonefish is open for lunch. All right.
probably are asked to consult and pick your brain often, I would imagine. Is there anyone that you've either walked into their office or walked down a row or walked in and said, no, I'm sorry, we can't work together? And you don't need to tell me any names, but do you turn people down?
No, I wouldn't. They turn me down when I ask them certain questions. I'm not going to.
Right.
I think the world always deserves a better wine. And as I said, it's all part of the journey. And I would never say no to anyone. But I will say, I work for a chap.
I just asked him, as a
but
consultant, is there anybody that you've ever turned down or said no to?
there's one guy. There's three people in my world that are completely crazy. One of them lives in Canada. I have so much respect for these three guys, but this guy in Canada, he calls me up one day. I went up and visited him, and he says to me, Nick, I want to do what it takes. I said, are you serious? He goes, here's 30 different blocks that you can play with, and I want you to go all the way to the top. We've never had a 100-point wine in Canada. And that was 2012. In 2013, we made a wine. We decided not to bottle it. In 2014, we started to hit our stride. 2015, we got the first 100 points. And we've had 100 points ever since. And the guy is just an amazing guy. And he's the first guy that basically said, I have all this land, I have all this ability, I need not just the score, but he wanted the recognition. Mm-hmm. And now when you go to Canada and I say that I work for that winery, every restaurateur says, how do I get some?
Do you take Yolin with you?
I'd like to. Was that on tape? Can you put that, send that?
Yeah. Yeah. How about grandkids?
Unfortunately, not yet.
Okay.
Can you put that
on the way.
on tape too?
Yeah. Unfortunately, let's get with it, kids. Let's get with it.
Yeah, no
Come on, Chelsea, Hillary, let's go. Let's go.
All right, so this is the Yeoman Plus. So same process, but obviously from the Alexander Valley, and same price, same volume. 4 barrels. And this is also the 21. I hope. Yeah.
Are you particular about the cooperage that you use?
Yes.
You said you use nothing but French oak.
Yeah, but there's I had a conversation once with a pretty well-known winemaker, and we were talking about cooperage, and I've always thought, I buy the best barrels or whatever I do.
Yeah.
And he goes, no,
get some more?
barrels are part of style. Hey, it's true. In fact, I did a thesis on cooperage. It's, the first paper I ever published at the American Journal of Enology and Viticulture was on barrel use. It's a very tricky paper. I basically sent wood to a bunch of coopers and they made the barrels for me. And what it turned out was the guy making the barrel was more important than the forest. Again, it comes back to terroir or understanding, and it was a bit of an eye-opener. And so I'm very particular now about which cooperage I get the barrels from, because I think they have more of an influence than whether it's Elliott, Trans Vosges, or Nevers, right? Because Guys go,
Those
well,
are forests, I imagine.
Yeah, they're forests. So Allier is, the tight grain, right? But Allier is on a hillside. So if you have a tree on a hill, and they go, Nick, you want to buy some Allier? I go, tight grain? I go, yeah. But I only want the upside side of the tree. And they're like, Nick, piss off. I go, well, then don't sell me that stuff. Just sell me the tight grain. I don't care where it's from.
Right.
But it's the guys putting the barrels together are more important than the forest. And I don't know if you know.
That's funny.
Anyway,
a friend of ours wrote a book, Bet on the Jockey. And yeah, it's not the horse, it's the guy riding it.
Exactly.
And it's kind of the same thing.
Look at you, bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
Gail Lemeron.
Gail Lemeron. Yep.
Bet on the Jockey.
A friend and a mentor. Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
Well,
Yeoman Plus versus Game Ranch Plus. Which one did you like? Or
Well,
both different?
well, that's not
think-
fair. There's not one that we don't like.
No, I think I like this better, but I don't know.
I think the oak on the Yeoman is showing through a little bit more strongly right now.
I agree.
And I think the fleshiness and the richness of Game Ranch is thrown through a little bit. And what's interesting is that's what I just tasted. What I find interesting, that's the Game Ranch. What I find interesting is actually, this is really weird, I'm saying this here right now, but I find that wine having a little bit more acidity right now. The Game Ranch got a bit more acidity, which is not what I normally think. And the oak is a little bit stronger in the Yeoman, whereas normally I think it the other way around.
Okay.
But right now, I see it flipped.
I'm going to do it side by side.
And you said these are made the exact same way, just two different vineyards,
Right.
or two different blocks.
Oakville, and one is
Oakville,
Alexander
Napa.
Valley.
And
So
Alexander Valley.
This is Game Ranch, and then this was the Yeoman Vineyard. There's me with my watch
Yeah.
when I walk into the vineyard, and this was the Yeoman, say outside rows. And this is regenerative and dry farmed.
I didn't catch the pronunciation. It was lost in translation for me.
I'll speak slower.
Yeah, no, I know where Rioja is. It didn't sound like
I
that.
keep forgetting you're American.
I'm not pronouncing it.
All right, so
I ain't pronouncing it well.
I want to show you that this last wine, it's not the most expensive wine that we make, but it's the hardest wine I grow.
This one, what's that she snuck in over there?
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
So forefathers, so in 1998.
By the way, right now, I'm going to go with, for me right now, I think it's Game Ranch.
So, look at that time.
Is it time to go already?
Chard, Merlot, Savvy, Riesling, when you think the best wines of the New World, Sauvignon Blanc, Marlborough, Shiraz, McLaren Vale, Bucco Valley, Malbec, and Cabernet from Alexander Valley, right? So I created this wine called Forefathers, F-O-R-E, and we make wine from each one of those regions. So this is the Alexander Valley. And so in 1998, this is the first wine that I ever made on my own. I was still at LVMH. The first vintages had my wife's signature on it, Yolan's signature. And this is a pair of boots that I used to wear when I walked around Simi. The Faded Out Riding is my constitution that I wrote when I became a goddamn American citizen about fish-friendly farming and sustainability before it was cool.
Okay.
This is John Hancock's signature I stole from the Constitution. And Lone Tree is that tree, and that's a gum tree, and I'm a Kiwi, and that's an Aussie tree, eucalyptus. So what do we want to do as a Kiwi? Ring ding, cut the tree down. And then Yolan goes, that's the lone tree, let's keep it. So now we've got a koala in it, and you can shoot it. Right, so this is the hardest one I grow because it's regenerative and dry farm. So,
These are both mine, by the way.
oh,
That was my comparing. I'll compare them.
I thought I saw lipstick on that one.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry, was that my outside voice?
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Good. Appreciate it.
So we just make 300 cases of this. And I'm leaking everywhere.
Love it.
And thank you. So this is the block.
Lone Tree.
It's this block right here.
Okay.
And it was planted again in 1974, 75. So it's old vine Cabernet, very low yield. As I said, it's regenerative. And we found a new way. I just found a new way. We talked a little bit about organic at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these are not native because this is Catherine. And what this machine is doing is crimping the weed, right? So it's bending the weed over And when the phloem blocks, that weed thinks it's dying, so the seed pod regenerates. That's what regenerative farming is about. So there's an Italian machine. The guy was driving too fast. I yelled at him right after this because, popped back up. But what I discovered is in New Zealand, where we've been farming regeneratively for a long time, the plant, the weeds, become stronger and stronger and stronger. And so we found that I couldn't bend them over anymore. So I came up, I saw this, that's, a couple of nights ago. You can see here, I'm in this vineyard and I'm like, dude, what are you guys doing? Because it was crimped, but it wasn't
Crimped enough.
But no, they crimped it even better than I was crimping it, and they had strong weeds in here. I'm like, what is this machine? And then I got them to lift up the machine, and they'd cut the blades off the mower, and they put chains on it, so they were just knocking the plants down. So I'm going to do this now. So this is why you travel, man.
Right.
You always get to see the way other people have thought about it. Some guy in the vineyard who didn't know anything about vineyard, this is why you got to talk to the people in the vineyard and go, we're really trying to achieve this. And he'll go, I've got an idea. Let's do that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that's resonating with me as well as all of the rest.
Well, that's why I pour it last, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
This wine, but this is density on steroids. Right. Because this is like thick and full and, and
I
like
feel
some
my
of these,
teeth getting red just looking at it.
well, that's what some of these wines on your shelf are.
Well, yeah,
Is they're an experience in themselves, and they, they fill you up. This is a mouth-filling wine, and a
Wow.
body-filling wine, and this is just, I love the wine because
There's just a lot going on in that bottle.
Right, yeah.
There's a complexity going on in that bottle.
That's a big compliment for me that you would think that about all my wines. And I would say also that, and we're going to talk about it. I love the way you lead into the last wine.
There's a last wine.
We don't show this to everyone, but
Okay.
we, this is how many years now? This is 46 years of experience. And balance is one way, but the other thing for me, it's about personality. And we talked about this earlier, when I work for large corporations or when I consult, there's another influence, it's like the destination of that wine, where it's going to be sold or who's going to drink it. But for me, I'm one phone call away from bankruptcy. I'm one phone call away from hitting a home run, so I got to make wines that I feel comfortable with from the vineyards that I work in and the growers that I know. And if I can make it balanced wine at the same time, that's great. Thank you.
All of these are drinking fantastic right now.
Right.
Yeah.
well,
So the last thing I'm ever going to do is called Ultimatum.
Okay.
And so I made one. So,
Let's go.
This wine we sell in a 2-pack. So we only make 50 cases, 45, 50
wow.
cases. And it comes from the top of the game ranch. I showed you the picture of the game. So Ultimatum is that top block.
great.
So it's this block right here. And I already told you on this side, you've got Tench and Screaming Eagle. And you got some other famous guys around me on this side, as I mentioned. And this vineyard, it sort of belies everything else that I think about, because I'm not usually a guy that likes the top of the hill, because the top of the hill normally has thinner soil. But actually, this is more of a Piedmont. It's more of a mid-slope characteristic. And again, you can tell, well, you can't quite see, but the vines are so close, we have to farm by hand. And you can see these guys have got point rows on the game ranch. And so you can't run a tractor up through these vineyards. And so it's all done by hand. It's all regenerative. And I sell it in a 2-pack. And the box that it's in, my first degree was in civil engineering, but I never pursued engineering into my father's company. So for a $30,000 degree, I designed a box. And it looks like the Freedom Tower. It's got a square on each end and then 8 sides. So it's really cool. Some tequila guy knocked it off now, but I never patented it. But it's the bottle pops out. It's really cool. And we, as I said, we sell it in a 2-pack. And regular retail is $500, but it's still $4,500 cheaper than my neighbors. And Oakville, and people always argue, okay, you got the hillsides. So on this side, the east facing, you've got Tokalone, flat, Hill, which is Game Ranch Ultimatum, facing north, so cool. And then you got Pritchard Hill, right? So sun comes in this direction, morning sun. That's why Tokelone and Hillary are here. Flatland, the hill facing north. And then Pritchard Hill, Howell Mountain, Atlas Peak, warm because west face.
Okay.
East face, that's why, you know, there are famous vineyards up there, of course, but you've also, on this side, you've got Spring Mountain and Mount Vita, which are more east facing. So morning sun, but they do have less water. But I find the tannins are a little bit more.
Especially
I like the acidity. Well, I was going to say Spring Mountain because I like the acidity in those guys. And yeah, 19 was one of those. You know, 18, we just come off 18. 18 was a big flashy vintage, a little on the heavier crop. 19 was a little more normal vintage, slightly cooler. That we had, it was a good year for more elegance. I think it's a lot like 2016, probably, in terms of its fruit character. 17 and 8, 17 was a bigger crop earlier. Not as early as 18, but so we had a good run, you know, 16, right. 17, 18, 19 were all good. And then we had 20, unfortunately, but in more recent times, I would call, you know, we all love 23. I mean, obviously 23 is, but I still think the best, I mean, there's been some magic vintages, but one of the most magical vintages for me was 2012.
Okay.
2012, you know, we had 10, 11, 12, all three cool vintages, but 12 was like Goldilocks, man. Everything was just perfect.
Like a unicorn?
And it was a unicorn. Wow. And the alcohols were lower, and the fruit is fantastic.
I gotta revisit.
But I think 19, these 19s on great vineyards are some of the best ones I've made. I just tasted we just bottled the 2023 of this. That's color.
Okay.
I'm going to go on record to say this might be the best wine I've had this year.
Okay.
In fact, no, I am going on record to say that.
Well, yeah, it's
what is it,
January
the 12th?
15th. I think it's the
You're hilarious.
16th.
Hilarious.
I thought it was pretty good.
One born every minute. You know, during COVID, they laid off all these comedians who were stuck with you.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I have a son who, his resume is Opus Erasmus, Lula Tour, Grange, Vegas, Cecilia, Catena, 2 years at Dutton Goldfield, Dr. Lucen, and now he's in New Zealand making wine for me. There's no one with a resume like his.
Okay.
That's one way to mentor. The other way to mentor is I get a phone call from somebody who wants me to come and work in their winery. Before I agree to do that, I meet the winemaker.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to the winemaker. I'll say, if we choose to work together, this is a lifelong experience. Because when I retire, I'm going to come and hang with you. I'm going to drink your wine, eat your food, play with your kids.
Yeah.
This is a relationship that's going to be a long term. And today, some companies, I still work for them at the same winemaker. Sometimes those winemakers leave. But those winemakers that I worked with really closely over all that time have become some of my best friends, and I've become some of their, you know, I'm the big flag waver for some of these guys, and I will do anything to help them find a new job or go out on their own. Or I think mentoring is like really, really important piece of the future of wine. And if you know, when I got into winemaking in the 80s, you know, you'd do a big tasting and there was dog, great, right? Today, everything is great.
Yeah.
There's not many
That's what we
dogs out
say.
there.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's all about storytelling and longevity. And we sold a winery once when I was at Allied Domecq. We went along to meet the buyer. He's a very famous man. And the COO said to the buyer, how are you going to pay for this? A stupid question.
Right.
You know what the guy said? We will pay for this in the next 7 generations.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that to some of these
Right.
people, you know, and I always carry that with me. I'm like, what we do is so important to the generational business. And that is why wine is never going to go away. You know, I made beer for a while. You know, what are you going to do tomorrow? Well, it's the same as what I did yesterday, the same as what I'm going to do tomorrow. You know, vodka, it's the most neutral spirit in the world. Why do they all taste different? Yeah. You know, but with wine, you know, there's a place and a person, and there's so many things that can go wrong, and it's the only liquid that truly, truly represents the place and the climate, but the human influence on that place. Mm-hmm. So that's my massaging of what the word terroir means.
Yeah.
It's bringing all those characteristics together. And I learn just as much from those people that I'm mentoring as hopefully I teach them.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's, you know, the Gen Zs of the world, you know. And I remember my daughter saying to me, I'll just leave you one last thought. I mean, when my daughter, she was turning 21, and I said, what do you want for your birthday? And she goes, I want a pair of sunglasses, and I want them to be $100. But I don't want Ray-Bans or Varnays or anything else, but I want to know they cost $100. So that when I walk in a room, I can explain why I selected these sunglasses. And it's not a brand that everybody knows. It's like, you know, coming back to what we originally started with, I mean, you're in the restaurant business, and I'm coming out for dinner and I want this new experience. So give me an experience that I can remember. I mean, if I come into this restaurant and I have, you know, chicken alla parmesan, or I drink a well-known branded wine from Napa, I'm not going to remember the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust me, I eat in probably easily 100 restaurants a year. 200 restaurants. I mean, I eat in restaurants every night. And if you ask me which restaurants I remember, they are not them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember the restaurant where the server was amazing. I ordered something I couldn't pronounce, and I drank this amazing wine, had this great experience. But if you're just going to give me the same stuff that everyone else gives me, and make wine exactly the same way, and cook chicken exactly the same way with the same cheese, I don't remember it. And I'm never going to come back.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We got to go to work.
No, that's it. That's it. Well, we never stop working.
The ultimatum.
Yeah.
Thank you. You liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not completely bad.
And there's no dog in the lineup.
No.
Yeah.
So there was a
I
guy you
love
remind me of, and I spent time with him, and he was from Australia, Chateau Tanunda. Do you know the name of the?
Of course. I don't know the winemaker. I used to live in Tanunda. Tanunda's not in the town.
Wow.
Okay.
Tanunda and Noriupta. And
I can't remember. It was probably over a decade ago, and but you remind me of a lot of the owner of the winery. Philosophical standpoint.
Yeah.
well, I can sound Australian too, mate.
But yeah, I mean, you sound just like him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you are really hitting a nail now, dude. This will be the last time I ever see you.
Oh no, we're coming to see you.
But anyway, come and see us.
That's
We live in Healdsburg. Healdsburg has got, 220 wineries. We're the intersection of Dry Creek, Alexander Valley, Chalkhill, and Russian River, and we've got 6 Michelin restaurants. The number 1 restaurant in all the US is there, called Single Thread, and it's just an amazing town to come visit.
Yeah.
Forefathers Shiraz went top 100 in the Wine Spectator 5 years in a row. I had to close it out, couldn't sell it. So the forefathers Shiraz, we tried the Cabernet today, but so I think the only reason why you need a score is to find a new distributor and sell in Costco. That's it. Stars on Vivino. Vivino is the only thing that matters. And I had a first time
Vivino?
Vivino.
Yeah.
Vivino, the app. I had a tasting the other day in California. It's the first time the guy said, has anything got less than 4 stars? I don't want to taste it.
No shit.
I said, you know what? Fair enough.
Drink the wine first, and then go see the star. Then see the star first, and then go drink the wine.
Preconceived notion.
Right.
Yeah, but a lot of these
Because you're
buyers-
leading the witness
A
there.
lot of the buyers don't have time, right? So
No, it's true. That's
gotta
the
weed.
other side.
You and I just tasted 9 wines or whatever the number is. I mean,
That's going on the menu.
Okay.
That's how good that is.
Yeah.
And at that price point,
Fantastic.
and
well, the 2 best values are
Right.
this and this. Like, we can't be beat. The Game Ranch, which we didn't show you today, that'd be the 3rd best value.
Right.
When it comes to big selling wines, it'd be this and a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc that I make. And then the hardest wines that I make are these, and the hardest one I grow is that. And then,
Right.
what this is, and then the true stories are these 2.